Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a truly profound narrative, the Islamic accounts of creation. Specifically, we're going to look at the genesis of the Prophet Adam and the vast universal order that surrounds him. You see, this isn't just a basic origin story. It's a meticulously structured account of cosmic scale, elemental origins, and ultimate human destiny. We're going to break this narrative down step by step to really understand the profound relationship between the Creator, the physical universe, and, well, us.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to take a second and just imagine absolute stillness. Imagine a state where literally nothing physical exists. No light, no sound, no matter, not even time itself. The narrative we're examining begins exactly there, right at the threshold of existence. So how does a universe transition from complete nothingness into the incredibly complex reality we experience every single day? Well, the verses give us a surprisingly concise and incredibly powerful answer to this question, centering entirely on a singular divine action.
Section 1. The Universal Command.
This first phase of the narrative establishes the absolute sheer power of the Creator. The universe didn't slowly assemble itself over eons. It was sparked into existence through one solitary command, be. From that single catalyst, an immense scale and staggering variety instantly came into existence. I mean, we're talking vast cosmic structures, the Earth, the sky, the moon, the sun, the stars. We're talking physical geography and biology, oceans, mountains, rivers, plants, and animals. It's a sudden, breathtaking burst of creation that fills the void with a fully functioning, incredibly diverse universal order. But this account also points out that creation extends way beyond just what we can physically see. Now, what's really interesting here is the inclusion of entities beyond our normal sensory experience. Right alongside tangible elements like mountains and stars, the verses specify that Allah created angels and jinn. The jinn are described as unseen beings, created to exist right alongside the physical universe, the angels and humans. It adds this deeply multidimensional layer to the theology. It shows that the command be was so absolute, so all-encompassing, that it brought both the visible, tangible universe and the unseen spiritual realms into existence simultaneously. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 2, Molding the First Human. The narrative takes a really remarkable turn here. We shift from the macro, the vast creation of galaxies and unseen beings, down to a very intimate, micro level of tactile creation. After establishing the entire universe, Allah decides to make a human being, and the process described is strikingly different from that instantaneous command that created the stars. The text highlights this shift with a direct declaration from the Quran, Surah Sad, verse 71. I am about to create a human being out of clay. I want you to let the gravity of that verse resonate for a moment. Instead of simply commanding the human into existence from nothing like the rest of the cosmos, the Creator chooses to use the earthly material that has just been formed. It's a deliberate, highly intentional shift from the universal elements down to humble earthen material. The verses actually outline a deeply procedural, almost sensory process for creating this first human. First, Allah collects all kinds of soil and mixes them together, specifically comparing the texture to a potter's clay. Second, this earthly mixture is carefully molded and shaped into the form of a man. And then comes the third, absolutely vital step. Allah breathes His spirit into this physical form. It's a deeply physical, hands-on description that really sets humanity apart from the rest of the cosmos. And after this process is complete, Allah names this first man Adam. And this brilliantly illustrates the core duality of the human condition. On one side, we have our earthly origins, literally composed of mixed soil and potter's clay, tying us forever to the physical earth that was just created. But on the other side, we contain a divine spark, having had the Spirit breathed into us by the Creator. It's a profound theological balance. Humanity is portrayed as a unique bridge between the humble physical elements of the earth and the transcendent spiritual realm of the divine. Section 3. Hawa and Human Destiny. So, with the Prophet Adam now created, the physical universe has its human counterpart. But the narrative doesn't stop with a single individual. It moves on to establish human companionship and the very foundation of human society. It explains that Allah then created the first woman, Hawa, known in English as Eve.
She was the wife of the prophet Adam, and the verses add a very specific, beautiful detail here. It states explicitly that Allah loved Adam and Hawa. This establishes that the foundation of humanity isn't just biological or structural. It is rooted deeply in divine care and companionship. They're placed within this newly minted universe, not as accidents, but as deliberate creations who are cherished.
So, the crucial point is this. Allah created the universe and the prophet Adam out of absolutely nothing. The account goes out of its way to remind us of this fact. Whether it's bringing the sun and stars into existence with a single word, or meticulously molding the first human from clay, it all stems from an absolute power to create anything. This theological concept, creation ex nihilo, or out of nothing, is the bedrock of the entire narrative we've explored so far.
Which brings us to Section 4, the ultimate return.
Our narrative arc shifts here. We've spent our time looking back at our absolute origins, the nothingness, the command, the clay. But this brings us to a powerful textual climax regarding the eventual end of time. The Quranic verse from Surah Al-Zukhruf, verse 85, states, "Blessed be he who rules over the kingdom of the heavens and the earth and all that lies between them. He alone has knowledge of doomsday, and to him you shall be returned." This verse effectively closes the cosmic loop. It links the absolute beginning of creation, the one who rules the heavens and the earth, to the eventual end of days. Just as humanity and the universe originated from the Creator, the account asserts that it is to the Creator that everything will ultimately return.
Which leads us to a final thought to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. The narrative has laid out a clear trajectory for us. We began as earthly clay infused with the divine spirit. We were placed in a universe built from nothing, and we are destined to ultimately return to the source of that creation. So the question the verses implicitly leave us with is this. If our origins are from clay, and our destiny is a return to the Creator, how does that shape the way we live the time in between? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the source material.